But think fast. It's not bad karma if you don't give money to charities. You know, and I thought about this when I had a situation, matter of fact, which is just how can I say? It's sad how some of these charities try to use children and the innocence of kids to pull your leg. Because it's one thing to ask somebody for a donation to say, hey, this is the organization, would you like to donate to it? But then they got people who try to pull your leg where it's like, yeah, it's for sick kids, and it's kids are, matter of fact, and what I thought about what made me make this video is the way this brethren came at me. I was walking and the brethren was like, do you feel like saving kids today? Like, and that just appalled me on so many levels as far as like so if I don't give you some money for your charity, that mean I don't want to save children. And that's word magic right there within itself. It's like, hey, do you want to save some kids? And then two, it's putting you on blast. It's like not only is it word magic, but it's also a situation where they're trying to make you feel uncomfortable in front of everybody. So the moment you say no, it could be seen like, hey, everybody, you see, I asked him if he wanted to save kids and he said no. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is like, honestly, that's asking for money or dealing with charities in that nature. That's real unrighteous, and very lower vibrational, if I must say so myself. And then the fact of, like, again, using kids as bait. But to the point, there's no karmic issues, because I'm pretty sure, I know I wondered that on my growth, you know what I'm saying, when I would go to CVS and they're like, would you like to donate? And then at first, I was feeling like that, but I started getting more knowledge of like all these charities and what the government doing, and the fact that that AIDS, cancer, all that research is, I'm never giving money to that. Like, the fact that Dr. Sebi exists, well, the fact that the brethren existed in the flesh, but his teaching still exists and will exist, I'll never give money, ever, 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 ever give money to any cancer situation, any AIDS situation. Like, if I give money to a charity, in which when somebody asked me one time, they was like, would you like to donate for these kids or this and that? And I was like, I was feeling generous, so I wanted to give something like, is this money really going to these people? Because when people in these, I've been there, I worked for a company before, and like, matter of fact, this was in Whole Foods, and when they asked me, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right, is she just asking because it's her job, like, because they tell you, hey, y'all ask people for this donation. So I asked her, like, do you really deal with this charity, and do you know that they're gonna do what they say with the money? And she was like, oh yeah, it's a real. Now, granted, because I'm a psychic empath, I peeped that she was kind of lying. She was being a little misleading. But the fact that, I just, the good heart, I'm like, you know what? And then it wasn't, what, a dollar or two. So I'm like, you know what, here. But never feel obligated to give money to charities, especially, matter of fact, and that's what the knowledge of knowing what's going on really helps you to not feel guilty about that. Like with myself, like, I know Dr. Sebi been healing things, so to give money to research, why would I give money to research something that a man already went against the Supreme Court in '87? Back in the day, he proved himself to the court systems, what, when I was born, then, like, 30 years ago, long time ago. And the fact that these, oh, we still need charity for AIDS, we still need charity for cancer, that's a game. And I'm not playing. Point blank, period. And also with the little children thing, it's like, like, no matter how much they try to hustle you with kids, don't feel, unless you feel it in your heart, unless that inner circle. I'm speaking from my own experience. If something in your heart always tells you that, you know, to give money to those charities no matter what, then to each his own, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just informing you on the situation and what's really going on as far as like how some of these charities work, and how, how Source works with our inner being, like, well, you don't, like, that is not an obligation, especially when you know that it's not necessarily, righteous. And then another thing too is when you're doing things to uplift people, then these charities really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because when the guy asked me, like, it's like, you feel like saving kids today? Almost the first thing that was gonna come out of my mouth is that, man, my spiritual work is saving the, more than just the few kids of this whatever you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But you know, conscious. As a matter of fact, that's the definition of being conscious. Where it hit me, but then I consciously said, no, I'm gonna stay above, stay on the higher vibration, and just let it be, because I know what I know. So I don't have to explain to this guy, to this stranger, what I do. I know I help people. I know what I do. Matter of fact, if I felt the need to explain, that's kind of like a sign that maybe I feel like I'm not helping people. You know, that's why I always say, when people get to you, that mean somewhere inside you kind of believe what they're talking about or what they're saying. So, you know, I'm like, I know I help people, so it's like, whatever. But again, you don't have to. You're not gonna suffer any bad karma, this or that. Now, I can't say unless it's in your path for you. You know what I'm saying? Unless the universe, like, say for instance, it's some situation where nothing for people, let's say towards helping clean a charity to help raise money to start a recycling bin or something like that. Let's say that, it may be in your karma to give money to that situation. As far as, like, say for instance, you've been dirty and you always threw trash anywhere all your life, you never cared about cleaning up things, and then you end up going somewhere or different places and there's always a charity for recycling or something like that. And maybe the universe is hitting for you to, like, to help, help the cause in that manner, but for the most part, a lot of these charities taking that money, just like the government with the tax system, taking that money, doing what they want, and then they after they divvy up what puts money in their pocket, in their lifestyle, to sustain their lifestyle, then they'll use whatever else is left to, to give a few crumbs to people, and to make it seem, and to put it on the spotlight, like, hey, I'm charity, you know what I'm saying? Like, taking the pictures and the big check, like, I just gave $100,000. I don't give a damn about these people, but hey, I just gave them $100, $100 million, 100,000, whatever, the case may be. And giving money to people is not necessarily helping them either. Like I always bring up about with somebody, being quote unquote poor, or having a lack of money, or being houseless, I wouldn't walk around giving those people money. Like, of course, sometimes, the money or a little food, that does help. But if you're ultimately really trying to help, instead of how they say, giving the water to the horse, you lead the horse to the water. So if I'm gonna help somebody, I'm gonna teach them about the law of attraction. I'm gonna set up classes to help people learn on how to manifest things, so they don't have to be quote unquote poor, or fall under the illusion of it, really. But there's all these different things, but you're not losing any it's not any bad karma for not giving to charity. So no matter how much these people play these little word magic games, and matter of fact, they'll have what's coming to them, what cause and effect. I'm not saying, oh, I wish bad upon these people. No, I'm just saying everything has every action has an opposite reaction. You know what I'm saying? For everything you do, things come back around. So that situation will take care of itself. But just know that you're good. Just keep doing the righteous things within your daily life. You know what you're doing righteously every day. Just keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Keep working on what you're working on, helping people in the way you help people, and you won't. As a matter of fact, and then your conscience won't even make you feel the little slightest bit of obligated to get that money. Because like I say, when I'm in a store, like I bet you some people probably look at me like I'm heartless. I couldn't. Nope. Like when they ask about a charity, like, nope. Like, cause then I feel some of the cashiers or some people like, damn, you don't really say you got that spiritual stuff, cause they don't understand my overstanding. They don't know what I know. So I operate different. Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.